Hey guys, I hope we're doing good. Today's episode is basically about routine and some sort of like little challenges I'm facing at the moment, and maybe you're facing the same ones, and some of the strategies I'm using to help me overcome these challenges and better them, and so I'm better for when I'm dealing with the same challenges next time. And I really feel there's so much value in here if you really listen. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world to me. If you subscribe, you mean share it to a friend or send this whoever who needs this. Anyway guys, hope you enjoy today's episode. So the big question is this: how can dyslexics like us create a place, a community, a tribe where people at any stage of life can come and solve any challenge, amplify their strengths, and ultimately help them become who they were meant to be, or in other words, conquer their dyslexia? That is the question, and this show is the answer. My name's Theo Goff, and welcome to the Conquering Dyslexia podcast. Hey guys, I hope we're doing good and alright. I'm excited here to really have a conversation with you and talk to you like how everything's going and a little bit about some challenges that I'm facing in my own life, and kind of like some solutions I have put forward for them, and some things I've worked out, and kind of brainstorm with you what things that's working for me, so you can help them apply it to your life, like with dyslexia, with planning, with focusing, with doing certain things. I feel they'd be quite valuable to talk about. And now, firstly, I want to sort of mention that I know in the last podcast episode, I was speaking about, I'm back doing these things, back doing podcasts and doing it. And that was a couple of days ago. I think it was like a week, I'm not sure, like a week ago. And down to truth reason why there hasn't been a lot more is because of half term. Because I have not been going to work, I haven't been going to work, which is in a school, all week. And you would think, oh, you've got all that time free, you should easily do them. While in fact, how it felt, I'm not making excuses or whatever, how it felt was the opposite. It felt so much more harder to do these things, to get myself to do it, because there wasn't a proper structure and routine. And the reason why I feel this is really important to talk about is that, like, us as dyslexics, well, I know for myself, and this is where I use it, like, sometimes I think to myself, am I just making excuses? Am I just saying this thing because, like, oh, I've had dyslexia like this? But I do genuinely think it's so true. Us as dyslexics, we're very, very visual, we're very, very kinesthetic. We like to use all our senses. And therefore, I feel our environment plays a higher role on ourselves than what does a normal typical person. Because, for example, if we learn through all the different senses, our touch, like touching, feeling, seeing, hearing, all these different senses, and that's how we learn best. While other people, neurotypical people, learn best through sight and hearing, and their brain can just work a lot more effectively than non-dyslexic brains, then probably goes to stand that if your environment changes, it's harder for you as dyslexics to adapt to it in terms of like your learning style. For example, your learning, your processing style, your operation style. For example, it's a lot more harder for a neurodiverse person, a dyslexic person, to go from working in an office all day to working at home. Getting used to that at home, and that's what I thought. I remember at the start of lockdown, which was when schools weren't open at all, and all sorts of things, and I was at home for a little while. It was hard, very hard at the start, but I slowly began to get used to a routine of doing things, getting up early, doing that. But it took a long time for me to adapt to that. And at the start of this half term, I remember, because just coming off doing the summit, and I didn't do everything. Maybe like in my head, always hard on myself in my head, that I should have done. And I sometimes say, oh, I should have done this, and then I don't focus on all that, and it's hard to get in a routine. I remember Saturday, I didn't get up properly and do my thing, and that led into Sunday not doing my rituals and doing certain things, and then it confusing my head and sort of like, and then leading you into half term, having all this time free. It felt like a massive extended weekend where I don't have to do a lot of things. And I suppose there wasn't a proper plan. Now, bearing in mind, I love planning. Bearing in mind, I'm a planning human. I'm obsessed with it. I'm like, okay, I'll get up at this time. At 11:30, I'm gonna go for my little break. At 2 p.m, I'm gonna walk with my friend for 2 hours. For 2 hours, I'm gonna have a meal before that, and at home I'll do these things and do this podcast and all this sort of stuff. But it didn't come to fruition, and I think the biggest reason for that is just in myself. Is that I didn't look when I was doing these actions. I kept looking of what I should do and over-complexing it rather than make it more simple. Because I haven't done that, I should do this, how do I catch up, how do I make it work, how do I make it perfect? And what I should be doing is just doing it, just taking action, just picking one foot for the other instead of looking behind and looking at all the footsteps I didn't take. And I feel that really sort of like being the big like negative momentum style, and I got kind of like had enough, and I tried to do something about it and it didn't really sustain. And then it kept on going downhill by then. So I feel what's incredibly important is our environment. Is our environment around us. And we need to make our environment around us beneficial to where we want to go. Where we want to go in life. And this is so true, because of COVID and everything, being at home, we have to try and make our environment work for us. And a couple of things that really helped me in my environment, work. For example, when I'm being lazy, when I'm not doing work, I don't want to come into this room. So I call it like my old office room or whatever. And this is where I can focus. And it's a lot easier when I'm focusing here. Another big thing that helps is like having a set routine that you have to stick to. You have to stick to. Now, where I was falling down and I was failing is that I had a routine, but I didn't stick to it. Either the routine was either maybe you pushed me too hard when my mindset wasn't there, or this and that. Anyway, I didn't stick to the routine. Therefore, it wasn't a real routine. It was more a discipline thing. But here, because I just came back from working in school, come back here, like bush. I get all this stuff done. And I enjoy it and I like it. Moving forward like that. And some big things. So basically, what I've done and how, if you know a bit about my story, I was suffering loads with anxiety or whatever, calling it. But I remember when basically I got obsessed with a person called Tony Robbins. How can we improve loads of stuff? And anyway, he talks about this thing, this little ritual he does. He called it the hour of power. It's where you get up and you go outside, you go for a walk, and you think of like things to be grateful for like 15 minutes. You think of things you want to happen for like 15 minutes, and then you have to do incantations, which is basically say things to yourself over and over again to condition your mind for like 15 minutes. And then you finish that little session and feel amazing, feel vibrant. And this is what I did 16 years old, sorry. Getting up I remember I said, okay, I'll get up at 6 a.m. Then at 5:30, 4:30, 3:30. Then I was getting up at 3 a.m. and doing these incantations, doing things intense, going for a run, saying things to myself over and over and over again. With a shy and confident kid, that conditioned me to be confident. That conditioned me to take action, to do things. Because, for example, I don't know if you know this. If you imagine something in your head and visualize it in your head and compare that to it happening in real life, your brain doesn't know the difference between something you imagine and something that happens in real life. So if you imagine your self-confidence, you picture your self-confidence, you say to yourself you're confident, your head can't really make a distinction between you, where you are now, and the confident person you are. Anyway, so this is the understanding, so I conditioned myself to be this person, and guess what? I would act in a certain way and doing all this stuff. And I kind of took that power with me. I still do my morning ritual, but now it's a bit more streamlined because Sunday night I kind of wrote these things down, and I don't know, I could get them up for you here, but basically, I get up at 4:45. I get up at 4:45. This is my thing, and I drink some water, go straight outside, and I would think of with the dog and think of things to be grateful for. I got a little wood. Think of things to be grateful for. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for Mum. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for where I live. I'm grateful for that. I was born in this part. I'm grateful for not having poverty. I'm grateful for so many different things. And the trick is you feel it when you're there. You don't just think about it. You feel it. You're in it. And then 3 things of that. 3 things I want to happen in the future. And this is when I go and do myself. I always focus about who I want to be, how I want to act, how I want to feel. There's a great book. One of the best personal development books I've listened to basically. It's called High Performance Habits by type in high performance habits, it will come up. And it's like the world's largest study on high performers and their habits. Anyway, so good. But anyway, I think of things I want to happen in the future, who I want to be, how I want to act, things I want to accomplish, all this sort of stuff. And then move forward to my incantations. Before I just say things on top of my head. But now I've listed 5 different things in incantations that I'm going to say. And basically, I'm really obsessed with trying to improve myself and do all these things. I've learned a lot about successful people have non-negotiables in their life, and so does everyone. But the successful people have them more clear and defined non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are things that they stick to. I have to get up. I have to get up in the early. I have to treat people like this. I have to work hard. This is my standard. I'm going to do this. I will not skip these things. And like Tony Robbins has a really good phrase. Most people should all over themselves. I should do this. I should do that. I should do that. And you're shooting all over yourself. Funny little saying. But that's what basically, I don't like saying this thing, but that's what a lot of people do today. I should work out. I should eat more. I should learn more. I should be studying more. I should try harder. But it's a should. You're shooting all over yourself. Turn your shoulds into a must. Raise your standard. Once you raise your standard, so a must do these things, then your quality of life massively increases. And so basically this is stuff that I know, and I've brought language to myself over and over again. But here's one really critical distinction. I want to talk to you. I feel it'll be important in this thing. Something that I've learned massively helped me do the things I want to do and be on the journey I want to be on, and take on these challenges. And one thing that really helped me realize is how powerful your identity is. Now, when I say the identity, it's who you think you are as a person. Who you think you are. Now, let me ask you a question. Is the person you think you are, is that fact? Is it saying, okay, I am this person because I think and I believe I'm this person? Are you born to be this person? Are you is this you? The answer is no. Who you think you are is an opinion you have. It's not fact. It's not destiny. It wasn't made up by your DNA about who you are now. It's how you've cultivated yourself. And basically, the strongest force in the human personality is this need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. Because if you define yourself as a very confident person or a very shy person or this or that or this or that, you do whatever it takes to live in to that person. So the biggest thing I can do to really shift where I'm coming things, because I know strategies to improve things. I know what I got to do. I plan this, I do this, but yet I don't follow through. Why? I don't tie my identity to doing those things. So basically, I've written my 5 non-negotiables and language them in a sense that saying, okay, this is my identity. First thing is, it's my, I say, I am the type of person to get up at 4:45 every single day, no matter how I feel, to condition my brain and my mind and body to take on the day or to maximize the day. That's the first one. Second one is about, I think it's about work ethic. I am the type of person that demands more for myself than anybody expects, even when it's hard and not so much stuff. Third, because I made these up, Sunday I said them over and over and over again this morning to condition my mind and see it, I feel it. Third one, I believe it's about focus. I'm the type of person that's laser-like focus and does not let little distractions affect me. Focus. The fourth one is about energy. The fourth one is about energy. I am the type of person. I have an outstanding level of health, vibrancy, and health that gives you an unlimited amount of energy and unstoppable psychology. All this stuff. Anyway, the fifth one is about something I learned really important about. I am the type of person that has unstoppable psychology. I'm the type of person that enjoys the hard work. This is it. It's really important. I'm the type of person that enjoys the hard work, the grind of things. So now each day it's getting me a step closer. Because what's really, really, really important when we're doing these things, like as dyslexics, if you're watching this, you want to better yourself. Well, guess what, my friend? Bettering yourself takes work. If you want to conquer your dyslexia, if you want to get out there, it takes work, it takes effort. But is effort easy? No. And how can we be working hard and putting a lot of effort in and day out? How can we do it? If you don't like it, how can you physically do that? Like physically, for example, if you just link pain to working day in, day out, and you want to do the easy stuff like eat ice cream, watch TV the whole time, it will be virtually impossible to do that because your brain will be neurochemically wired to doing those bad activities because it gives you dopamine and things like that. But what you have to do is link. You can do this. This is basically the fundamental science behind the growth mindset. If you link, you can do that in your mind by basically conditioning yourself and focusing on it. If you link pleasure, i.e., great dopamine happening in your brain when you resist the easy things, when you work hard, when you push yourself, when you're tired but keep on working, link dopamine to that, saying, I am doing the right thing, I'm getting where I want to go, then that will help you so much. So anyway, guys, long story short, I've had some challenges, a lot to do with routine and that sort of stuff, and here are the things I've done to really push myself push myself to do that. And guess what? I read them today, and I can still remember them now, which is quite a surprise. And when I read them, I was feeling them, and throughout the day, as I was going on my phone to waste some time, as I was going to do things, in my head saying, I'm not this type of person. So I change it and moving forward. And the ability to change your identity does not come quick. It comes over hard work and conditioning. But once you can change your identity, you realize you can change your beliefs really fast, you can change things really fast in yourself, so you can adapt and move forward in life. Anyway, guys, I really hope we enjoyed today's episode and talk about the environment, but it's more about, okay, here's some little tips and habits and strategies you can do to really overcome the challenges you are facing right now with your dyslexic or your neurodiverse or whatever. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, guys. Take care. I'll see you soon.